All weekend is Thursday. It's Keita J. Let me stop because I already got a theme song. Have you guys seen the trailer on the Keita J reveal show? Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. I didn't say, hey, what's up? Greet y'all. I like to say greetings. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. I'm sorry we late. I ran into some things. I had to stop at one of my favorite restaurants and get me a bite to eat, sit down, have me some wine, and relax because this week has been fabulous. These last, I can't tell y'all nothing. But anyway, this is the Keita J Reveal Show, y'all. This is the Keita J Reveal Show. And you know what? We always revealing some things. If it's not about me, it's about you or it's about somebody else. So we're going to get right to it because you know what? I have to go pick my daughter up and I know eventually she's going to be calling me. So I may have to pick up the phone eventually. Y'all just going to hear me say, hello, yes, how can I help you? You need me to come and get you, catch the bus or Uber? No, I can't do that to my baby. I got to go pick her up. Sooner or later, you know, she doing some little activities after school. Anyway, y'all, I am Keita J, as if some of y'all don't already know. But, you know, what's so funny is, y'all see the topic. Yeah, y'all see the topic. I was like, let me make sure I'm spelling this right. Let me make sure, because you know sometimes your eyes are deceiving. But anyway, we talking about male chauvinists today. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all listen to a video. I was listening to a video. Let me put it like this first. I was listening to a video of Judge Joe Brown. He cracks me up, but at the same, because he's an older guy, he just on his I don't care type of thing. You know, sometimes when guys get older like that and women, they still be on the rag. I can't really say women because women have been on the rag before, but men, they be PMSing. I'm serious, especially when they get older, because I can only think of my grandfather when he was older. He didn't care about a thing. When you start getting older, sometimes you just don't care. You don't care no more. You didn't care like you did when you was in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s. Because I think Joe Brown might be like in his 70s or his 80s, right? And they were having a conversation about Harriet Tubman, okay? Harriet Tubman and her $20 bill. Because you know right now they're coming out with a $20 bill with Harriet Tubman on it. This has been in the talks about some years now. They've been talking about Harriet Tubman $20 bill for maybe about 2 or 3 years right now. And Judge Joe Brown is like, I don't care. I don't care. We should have had a man. We should have had a man on a bill before a woman. Out here, they in war. We fight war. There's so many men out here that did this, and that. How she get on the bill? This reminds me, and I can kind of understand where he's coming from. I can kind of understand where he's coming from because he's like, look, they got George Washington, they got this person, they got that person on the bill, right? Who we got? That's a male, a man. That's, you know, represent, but they represent men all the time. You know what I'm saying? Can we get some women on some stuff? Can we get women on some stuff? That's all I'm gonna say. And it ain't nothing against the men, because it's always a fight, y'all, I think, against men and women. And I'm not gonna be a part of the fight against a man and a woman. See, I already know. Y'all know that women and men be going bumping heads against each other, especially in the that heavy melanin community. We be bumping heads with each other for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Who's the leader? Who's the this? Who's the that? The war. You know, it's like a battle between us because women are getting some of their just due. It took years for women to get their just due. You know, and then we talk about feminists. Feminist is not truly a bad thing. I mean, women wanted equal rights I can understand people out there fussing about, taking a man out of the home and this and that, but they only taking you out of the home if you want to get out the home. And I'm going to be honest about that. If you already in leaving, then you got yourself out the home. The woman didn't put you out the home. So you got to take some credit for some of the things that you do too. Everything is not about what the woman did. Everything is just because women wanted to work. I mean, it's going to be, it had to be to some degree where women could work. Women could take care of their own. Women were getting their ass kicked. And I'm going to say that. Women were getting beat up by men, killed. You know what I'm saying? That's where they're gonna make me mad with this, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be an even keel and trying to be neutral, right? Because it's so many women out here where men had the authority to beat their women when they went, back in like the 50s. You were able to hit your woman. You were the authority figure in the house. So this is where the wife beater comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that part of it, but because I want to make this fun. I don't want to make this where I'm upset because I know I'm gonna have people. Oh no, you talking about me? I'm not talking about this. See, that's the thing. We should be able to have a conversation about things, but I understand that there are a lot of men that can't have that conversation. There are a lot of men that can't because they don't understand where we come from. Women have dealt with so much, just like men deal with so much. Women deal with stuff too. Okay, it's just that y'all don't want to listen to us. Y'all can't feel our pain. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of that topic, but I want y'all to listen to this video from Judge Joe Brown. I'm not gonna play the entire video. I'll tell you guys where you can get it from, but I'm gonna play this video of this is Judge Joe Brown and what's his name? And Umar Johnson were talking. They were having a pretty good conversation. But I still want to say it's not right. It's not right. It's not right.
And not the Native Americans. It's the Native Americans. All kinds of stupid mythology because you don't have any pride in self. Now, what we need to do is just focus on having pride in what the hell you do rather than having something to step up for your lack of fortitude, lack of a work ethic, lack of the accountability that you should have to yourself and those of you responsible for to get your butt up and put your nose in a book instead of trying to play video games as a kid, instead of trying to play basketball as a damn kid, instead of watching basketball as an adult, instead of watching NFL as an adult, instead of watching Major League Baseball as an adult, and learning not a damn thing about what's going on around you. See, we have a problem. And it makes me ill to look at this. There was a thing on here where a mother snatches an unruly child who is disruptive as the devil in school by the back of the collar and hauling him out and pulling her belt off and wearing his behind out. Oh, my God, this was awful. She embarrassed him in front of his friends. She should be locked up. Oh, the brutality. Hell. I look at today's world and I look at the youth who have been raised the way these fools are talking about, and I see how screwed up they are. But I've had that happen to me. And it happened to me one time. I was about 6 years old, and I swear I never thought about doing what I did to provoke that again in my life. But unlike this child, I not only caught it from my mother all the way to the car in front of everybody I was in class with. When I got home, my next door neighbor jumped me. And when my daddy got home, he tore me up. In other words, to this day, I can still feel that behind beat. But the bottom line is me and all my friends on this generation, we'll be out in the driveway sitting there after an affair or function or met up for a beer someplace. And we'll say, oh, man, oh, man, I remember when my old man tore me up, man. And we laugh about it because it's part of growing up. But these poor sorry specimens have no recollection because they didn't get the privilege of getting lined up and taught what's right and had it imposed on you so you don't forget it for the rest of your life. It is amazing.
I got a question for you, Judge, if I could.
Yes, sir.
Because I would hate for any listeners, and particularly feminists, to misinterpret your comments earlier on Queen Mother Harriet Tubman.
I don't give a goddamn about feminists. They can go straight to hell, and I know they hate themselves because they got 2 X chromosomes instead of an XY. They are fraudulent, self-hating, and they're sick.
Well, I also wanted to clarify for me as well, Judge, because I know you had mentioned Thurgood Marshall, Dr. King, Frederick Douglass, and I just wanted to clarify with you that your comments were not suggestive of saying that by doing the Harriet Tubman movie that somehow undermined the works of those great male leaders, because that's what it kind of sounded like.
But the objective is, I've heard it from the Hollywood sources I have. These feminists are trying to do this movie so they can get a black woman put on a $20 bill. And they have no interest in this movie is to soften the public up to the idea of taking a black woman who frees slaves by leading them to freedom and getting her or another one like her on a $20 bill. They can't get a white woman, so they want a black woman. They don't care. They just want a woman, and it downs masculinity. Now, everybody on a bill is not a dead president. Don't forget Ben Franklin. He was never a president, so that's plenty of precedent to put in somebody black who was never a president. Like, let's say if we want to go back to the 19th century, like all of the rest of the people are on there, died off in the 19th century or the 18th century. We've got Ben Franklin, so we can have Frederick Douglass.
Okay. But do you?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but you don't have a problem with a black woman, and in this case, Harriet Tubman, being memorialized in whatever way that comes. You don't have a problem with that, do you? Or do you?
I got
a
big problem if it's on a bill before they put a black man's face on one. I have a big problem with that.
Why do you have a problem
historically,
with a black
the status
woman?
of an ethnic group is determined by its men, not its women. And that you put a black woman on there before a black man is insulting to the black race because you're saying the men ain't worth a damn. Put a woman up there first.
I disagree,
Judge.
I disagree. I don't think.
I won't. And the other
putting
thing is,
Harriet,
black male leadership.
Honoring a black woman
need
does
to
not
lead the black race by saying impose your sense of responsibility on motherhood and start raising some decent young men instead of these little monsters that you have running around the house where you don't want to have a father involved with them. Start being real mothers and pay attention to it. That's what honoring
a black woman, Judge, how is that an insult to black men? I don't understand that.
Because if they had a black man on there, it wouldn't be. But if you put a black woman first, that's an insult to black men. Harriet Tubman rescued 250. She rescued maybe 250.
She actually rescued more than that, Judge.
Well, it may be, but there were black men that did something better than that, too. There's one that's down here featured at a house going into North Memphis here, where they had an underground railroad, and the brother got several thousand black slaves to freedom. Okay. But they don't even commemorate him, and you can't even learn about it.
But Judge Joe,
unless you happen to walk in that monument.
But wouldn't
so
you
what
agree?
The hell they don't think they want to do it because you led somebody to freedom?
Judge,
why don't they get the trouble?
Judge, wouldn't you agree that Frederick Douglass, Dr. King, and Thurgood Marshall have all been exceedingly more celebrated and remembered in both black history and American history than Queen Mother Harriet Tubman? They need to put them on a bill and show respect. They've got a homicidal maniac, Andrew Jackson, on a $20 bill. They've got a non-president, Benjamin Franklin, on a $50 bill. They've got Grant
They've got every Calvin Coolidge on a damn bill too.
Douglas and King have been written about more than any other black hero in American history. Why not give
and I remember,
not give black women their opportunity, Judge?
I don't
Why
care.
Not give,
you put a black man on there first, because the thing of it is, they are not going to lynch. They are not going to generally lynch black women. They'll rape them, but they'll lynch the black men.
If they would have caught Harriet Tubman, they would have lynched
the
them.
dollars.
If they would have caught Harriet Tubman, they would have lynched them.
They go in and deal with getting rid of the men.
If they would have caught Harriet Tubman, they would have lynched the judge.
Stand and deliver, sacrifice self, be the last in the damn lifeboat when the women and children get in there first. You put a black man on the corner.
I hope you're not.
Okay.
I hope you're not.
I'm sorry. There's no way you can convince me.
I hope you're not a male chauvinist, Judge. I hope you're not a male chauvinist.
I am a male chauvinist. Exactly.
Oh,
I will die first. I will sacrifice for women and children, and I'll be damned if I don't deserve my precedence because of that. Because the bottom line is, when it hits the fan, I'm going to be there first. And I would count it my privilege to die that way rather than dying in bed.
But that means your argument, Judge, is no better than the argument made in the movie.
They get me first. When they got me out the way, then you worry about that.
But, Judge, that makes you just as bad as the movie.
Why the hell did this system not put a white woman on a bill? Now, you put a white man doesn't believe, because the white man doesn't believe in the equality of gender. Some dollar bill.
But we should not use them as our standard. The white man does not believe in equality of gender. That's why the white woman is not on the bill.
I'm not using white man. I'm talking about the standards, whether you come from Asia,
Africa,
what is wrong
South
with
America,
North America,
on
the North Pole. You come from the Pacific Islands. I'm talking about Caribbean, anything. That's the standards, because it's called mankind. Remember, I don't buy into this feminist bullshit.
In terms of actual life accomplishment, as great as Douglas was, as great as King was, as great as Thurgood Marshall was, none of them went through the personal risk of danger to the extent that Harriet Tubman did, and she did it 19
black man
times.
That's commemorated
Dr.
down
King
here
was
at
not
a monument in Memphis. Who
Frederick
did more?
Douglass was not a guerrilla warrior. Thurgood Marshall was not a guerrilla warrior. Harriet Tubman was a guerrilla warrior in the trenches. None of them were.
Excuse
me.
The
right to go
Frederick
to the
Douglass
first.
lost a son in the Civil War. He was with the
Frederick
54th Massachusetts Volunteer
in the Civil
Infantry.
War, Judge.
His
Frederick
son
Douglass did not
fought
fight
in the Civil War. Same
yes,
thing.
But he did not.
Well, his son did. Same thing. He prepared his son to make the sacrifice for freedom. He picked up an Enfield rifle and he shot it out with the Johnny Ribs. Okay?
Harriet Tubman led troops in the Civil War, Judge.
Do you really think that there are black men that also did that? I appreciate what Harriet Tubman did. But the bottom line is the ignorance. But the bottom line is there. Look, men first.
Accomplishment is unequal, Judge.
First.
No man did
men
what Harriet Tubman
first
did.
and freedom.
Nobody
Women don't
did
get
what
too free. See, this is what's
Judge.
about this country.
You cannot.
Guys, we got about 2 minutes before we open up the line.
See, this whole country has got war because the men
if we want to improve our relationship with the black woman, it must be equality.
Black men freed themselves, and the bottom line is the reason women have what they have is they didn't go off and pick up a gun and enforce it. Men said, let's be fair. And if the bottom line
women the enemy, Judge, then you become a reverse feminist. Don't make women the enemy. Don't make them our women are
I hold
not
the
our
feminists the enemy. Those scoundrels have done a lot to screw up this country. They have emasculated it. They've got running dogs in Hollywood that don't even like the fact that they have XY chromosomes and wish they had a double X. And let's get around it. Women aren't going to sit there and be out and knocking heads because you can't. That's a man's job. And that you've effeminized the black race so badly, not women so much, black women, but the country has effeminized the black women, black males so much, he acts like a woman. He doesn't know what the hell it is to be a man. We still have to fight these folks for something.
Okay. So, yeah. Excuse me. I'm parched. But anyway, so you know, a lot of times this is just me. And I know everybody does not agree and does not feel the same way. However, I have a right to speak my piece. And I don't have a lot to say. I don't have a lot to say about it. My only thing is I have posted something in 2017, right? 2017 and on my Facebook page. I just reposted this. I say, are boys raised by folks who give them the indication girls, women are here to serve them? If we don't, we are not good enough. And a guy and I, we were having a conversation back and forth about this particular topic. I'm going to tell you what his one question, his question to me, and it was just a conversation. He didn't call me out my name. You know, he chimes in on my, you know, my posts a lot, because I like to post a lot of stuff that gets you thinking, right? And a lot of people say, I love what you post. You know, a lot of people ain't into that, but I'm into observation. I like to think about stuff. So what hits me sometimes I post, just like sometimes what hit me I might say out loud. It might not be the right thing to say, but other people sitting there thinking it, and they just thinking it, and I might be the one to say it. So anyway, let's see what he asked me. He asked me, and I have to get to the questions because there's a lot. His first one was, what do you mean serve them? Give an example, and is it a gender role similar to boys being taught to lead, provide, and protect, right? So I came back and I said, hold on. Doing everything he says do for him. That should sum it up. We must not forget a lot of men today are not good providers. However, you know, and I know it's kind of I'm going in a circle with this, right? So he comes back and he says, so when a man is a good provider, how exactly would you serve him? I said, treatment in a relationship is very important. If a man is acting like I'm his quote unquote slave, we both made a bad choice. I'm in a partnership, not working on a plantation field. So he comes back, he's saying, interesting. Could being a quotation good provider be considered a good slave quotation? Couldn't quotation good protector be quotation good slave? I don't say quotation a lot, but I as well, but I have to put emphasis on that. And then I said, we both are being providers, not the man solely. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. Our terminology should be different in 2019. Women are taken care of just as much as men these days. So, you know, and I'm just giving you the gist of the conversation that he and I had. And it goes on and on. And it was just questions. And he was just like, interesting. And at the end, you know, he heard what I had to say, even though he still felt like if a woman is at war, I mean, if a family has to go to war, okay, meaning the woman should be at home, a man should be outside of the house. But my point was to him today is I see a lot of women having to fight the battle in their relationships. Like you have sometimes men won't say anything about something, or they just want to leave things alone. And I can understand sometimes women, as you guys say, men say women are emotional. And he said women are, you know, men are logic, women are more emotional. And in today's society, there are a lot of men that are very emotional. And the women have to end up being the logical ones. So my point is they're fighting over, Judge Joe Brown's fighting over her and Summit being on a $20 bill. He feels as though a man should have been presented first. I can understand his thinking because of where he is in his life. He's an older man, and there are a lot of guys that were agreeing with him, and you have every right to agree with him. but he also called himself a male chauvinist. You're a male chauvinist, so you don't want to see women progress. Can you change the bill? Can you change? Are you going to protest that they not put her on the bill? And here's another thing: money is not even about, let me get the right terminology out. So money is about to be irrelevant. Okay, I don't know how much longer money is going to last. I'm talking about having cash on you, because everything seems to be going to credit and debit now, apps and this and that. So it's almost out the door. And my point was, why are they all of a sudden bringing out a $20 bill when money is about to be irrelevant? It seemed like cash is about to be irrelevant. But if they put a woman on a bill and finally at some point we could see a woman on something, I feel good about that. I think a lot of women would feel good about that. When I see women on television doing things, I feel good about seeing women doing things that I haven't had a chance to do. So we love seeing ourselves do things. Just like we like to see our own community do things. When we see our own community flourishing, we feel good about that. We want to support more. So I believe it is a time, it's a good time where women should be more supported. You don't see a lot of women back in the day, even in the slave era, where they were recognized. I mean, you may see it in a book where people have written about them on a test. People ask questions, but we don't really see women postered and plastered anywhere, especially in my community. So I'm happy if they even do put her on a $20 bill. But either way, why fight over who's doing what? And this goes back to, honestly, the fight that I see between people that are artists and entertainers and women getting roles on the job, that men feel like a woman shouldn't be doing. Like when you have a woman on the police force and she's a chief of the department, and men are upset because here it is, you have a chief that's a woman, and this man can't deal with that. It just male chauvinists all the way around. They don't like to, a lot of times men don't like to take, and I'm not going to say orders, but they don't like to take anything from a woman. They don't like, if a woman is trying to tell them, ask them to do something, they don't want to hear it. If a woman is talking and a man feel like she need to shut up, a man will probably stand up and say, can you shut the F up? But he won't stand up and tell a man that's an alpha male or an alpha man to shut the F up. But you'll tell a woman to shut the F up. I just feel, and I see this a lot. The testosterone feels like they run the world of a lot of men, and a lot of, like they say, are they males too? Because I'm starting to get to use that word a lot now. I said that's going to be my word now. My word is going to be male instead of calling people men. Because I have a habit of saying men when you should really be called a male. So should I be using that as they're a male because you don't feel secure within yourself? Are you narcissistic? That word is starting to rise a lot. Everybody's narcissistic. You just have some people that are just way out there more than others. And that's fine. Maybe some things happened to them in their childhood where they became narcissistic. It happens. Sometimes we gotta look past those things, Talk about something else. Get them to get on another topic. Everything can't be about them. We're talking about this male chauvinist right here. And this and for the male chauvinist, that means a male who patronizes, disparages, and otherwise denigrates females in the belief that they are inferior to males and thus deserves of less than equal treatment or benefit. And if that is you, If that is you, if you are that type of male, you don't need a woman. I'm gonna say that because to me, it's like you're gonna feel. I feel like people are equal more so now. People are more equal. You know, women are working jobs, men are working jobs. We're all doing everything in the house together. Majority of the time, you may have some people that don't operate like that, and they have their right to do so. They have their right to do so. But I'll be daggone if I'm gonna give up all of my control to somebody that I don't know if it's gonna hit me in the buttocks later on. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a donkey kick. It might be a donkey kick. I end up giving all my control to somebody and they just totally take advantage of me. And I've seen women in those positions where men just totally males, men, you know, because even women that men bring in from other countries, these women end up sometimes cheating on men, sometimes finding another man more inviting than them. Yeah, it happens a lot. I've seen it. You know, where women are out here just they don't feel for you anymore. They don't have anything. They don't want to invest any more time in you. So they end up going out here cheating, you know, messing with other people, and you don't even know. And the male doesn't even know. I mean, I feel like nobody should have control over anyone. But if that's your religion and that's what you practice, that's one thing. But I feel like Judge Joe Brown being as old as he is, it's expected from him. I can say it's expected. He lived through a time period where men were running things, men were more leaders in the home. They took care of more things. And I don't know if he's married. I don't know, who his wife is. I've never really looked at it. I think he is married, but I'm not sure. But you just never ever know. You just never ever know what's truly going on. You never know what's truly going on. And I just wanted to say, take for men or males, take the time out to get to know what it is that women really truly like, what they're into. Don't just be the dominant one. And women, you too, don't be the dominant one. Don't try to be the dominant one. Don't try to take over the man's life, because there's a lot of women out here that do that as well. Some of them may have more testosterone than the men. But I just feel like women should be able to do a lot of things that men can do. If you got women basketball teams now, you got women playing football, and some of them are not as masculine as you think they are. They just, I guess they like the sport. I can't speak for them. You would have to ask them. You have women out here that's working multiple jobs. You got women taking care of kids by themselves, and this kind of stuff happens. I just wish that we can all get along. And if you see that a woman is winning and doing things and she's deserving of an award or, over you, because a lot of times, guys, they can't take to see a woman winning. It's you look at a lot of these shows, you always got a one woman dominated with 3 or 4 men. And I'm like, where the women at? I guess women, they do their own shows. If you want multiple women on the show, hey, you got to do it yourself. You got to do it yourself. You remember, you can't wait on nobody, okay? And that's it. That's all. Got to go get my daughter, y'all. I told y'all we done conked out. So I don't know if this is 2 videos or 1, but we did it today. So I already spoke my piece about, male chauvinist, because that's what it is, male. So I got to think of the word. The word is right there, male, not men. Male chauvinist. Because men that are secure with themselves, they don't give a damn. They like, look, my boo winning. She doing her thing. He ain't gonna tear her down in front of everybody. I've been there. Been in situations in a relationship where somebody tried to tear me down in front of people because I was doing things and people were into what I was doing. And this person was upset, ugly upset too, face looking all beat up, all because a woman was doing her thing and people was getting thrill out of it. Some males can't deal with that kind of stuff. They can't deal with women doing great things. They just can't. So we just have to understand that these are males. Like I said, Judge Joe Brown, I can kind of, I guess, give him a pass because he's older. You know, he's older. But guys that are like my age and young, younger, you've already come up in a society where women are doing things. So I don't understand why you would even trip off of that. If anything, cheer her on, make, she should feel good about what she's doing. Help her through the process. And if you can't, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Anyway, I know y'all gonna chime in on this one. This is going on YouTube. Remember, we are on Anchor, iHeartRadio. They're also on Apple. And last week I told you guys the wrong information. So if you don't know, you can download what it's called. It's called the Castbox, Castbox. It's the Castbox app. You can even just go online and type in podcast app. If you go in and it's like a white with some purple around it, and it looks like I don't know what it looks like, and like a circle or something inside of the purple. But you can go right online, download that app. When you download that app, you're able to download shows and listen to your favorite podcast. And I don't think you can do ratings on there. I'm not sure, but you can try. We are looking for you guys to make sure that you put a rating online for us. We are growing, and I'm so happy that we are growing. Like I said, we're getting feedback all the time, emails. If you guys have anything that you want to talk about, you can always reach out to me. We got some big things coming in 2020 we're working on. I'm not sharing it, but I appreciate you guys reaching out to Existing Nature Media, the Keita J Reveal Show, and we are going to be doing some fabulous things in 2020, okay? So I just want you guys to make sure that you tune into us and make sure that you, that we reap the benefit from you as well as you reap the benefit from us. So if you got any comments, you feel the show could be better, we're open for that as well. Thank you. I appreciate you for tuning in. And we're on YouTube too.